A historic event has taken place today. The euro has reached parity with the US dollar. And investors are factoring in the risk of an energy crisis in Europe and the difference in interest rates of the Fed and the European Central Bank. Apart from that, market sentiment was also affected by fresh macro stats. Let's discuss these events in detail. European Union industrial production data turned out to be controversial. At the opening of the European session, traders found out that industrial production in the UK slowed to 1.4% from 1.6%. Economists had anticipated that a 0.7% rise would be followed by a 0.3% decline, so a slowdown occurred because of the revision of the previous data. The euro area data showed similar results, yet the previous report was downwardly revised to minus 2.5% from minus 2%. However, by the end of May, the figure was projected to total 0.4%. It turned out that it had already reached 1.6%. However, traders ignored such impressive results. They are now waiting for the publication of the year's CPI data. Yesterday, the price was unable to start a correction. It appears the quotes may be able to do so after CPI data. Inflation is forecast to accelerate to 8.8% from 8.6%. If earlier surge in inflation boosted the growth of the US dollar, now the situation is somewhat different. Growing inflation confirms that the Fed will continue to tighten monetary policy. Currently, nobody has doubts about it. Besides, the Fed has also voiced its future moves on key rates, so some analysts reckon that rising inflation is now signaling the gradual slide of the US economy into recession. This is probably the reason for a strong pullback and weakening of the US dollar. For the first time in 20 years, the exchange rate between the euro and the US dollar has reached parity, and this historical event led to an increase in the long positions after the price had touched the parity level. As a result, there was a pullback. At the same time, the bearish momentum prevails, and in this situation, traders are focusing their attention on the parity level. If the price stays below this level, it may trigger a rise in the volume of short positions. In this case, the euro may decline to the levels of 0.9800 and 0.9700. The pair could also start a correction if it consolidates above 1.0080 on the 4-hour chart. If so, there may be gradual increase in the euro to 1.0150 and 1.0250. The GBP USD has a similar fluctuation because of a positive correlation with the euro USD pair. After breaking the swing low of the downtrend, the quotes halted they drop around 1.18. Shortly after a pullback occurred at this level, the price movement took place at the time of a rebound from the parity level. Its future trajectory will depend on the movements of the correlation euro-dollar pair. In a case of a large-scale correction, the pound sterling will also be able to climb to 1.1950 and 1.2000. Otherwise, it may dip to a swing low of the downtrend again. How we're going to be in the short term, we will definitely tell you in our next news releases. Don't miss them and stay up to date with us. See you soon.